This is really hard. It's so stupid. I'm sorry, what? That's weird. Rant time. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me, movie? I can't. Ugh. That seems so shallow. Oh, that line. I think rom-coms are dead. Howdy friends, I'm Morgan, the Nerdy Cowgirl. Welcome back to my channel if you're already a friend, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. Alright, so today I am trying a new video. I am calling it Chores and Bores. It is a little video. I'm thinking along the lines of, most of us have probably seen like Bailey Sarian and her Makeup Murder Mystery Monday. She sits and tells a story about a murder mystery and does her makeup. I also follow a lot of other YouTubers that do this. Jamie French is one that I love to watch, and also Kenny JD are just two of the accounts that I know that do these movie recaps while doing their makeup. I don't wear much makeup. I wear some mascara, some lipstick, some eyeliner, and that's about it, because my skin says no. Because if I try to put anything on my skin, it implodes. So I try not to put anything on my skin. But as far as like mascara, lipstick, eyeliner, those don't seem to make her mad. I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to talk about this movie, but I didn't want to like just sit and talk about it. I wanted to try something new. And I know a lot of people like slice of life videos, so I am going to take you guys along for some chores around our little farm, and I'm going to recap this movie for you. Now, I am going to be recapping the movie. I'm not, so there will be spoilers. If you don't want to know these spoilers, then go watch the movie and then come back. And let me know what you thought. I am going to be recapping the movie. So, you've been warned. Let's start the chores. So, I just woke up. It's about 8:30. What time is it? 8:41. So, I just woke up, and my boys are in there eating their breakfast. I haven't ate breakfast yet, but first things first. Gotta go feed these horses. Alright, so I guess I'll go ahead and start to tell you about this movie. It is called The Idea of You. It is played by Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine. I watched one person's, and they said that it was like magazine, but Galitzine. So that's kind of what I used to say it. So this movie started out with Celine, who is Anne Hathaway's character, and her daughter are both packing. She's packing for a solo camping trip, and her daughter Izzy is packing for Coachella. And she's going to Coachella with her dad and her friends, and they have all access passes to meet her childhood favorite band, August Moon. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me over scooping. But so Celine drives her daughter and her daughter's friends to the dad's house, and then heads home to finish loading up her stuff for her solo camping trip. And while she's loading up her car for her camping trip, the dad pulls up and says, "You know what? I had a call. We have a business problem at work. I have to go to Houston, so I can't take the kids to Coachella." And he says, "So you have to." And she asks, "Well, why doesn't your new wife take them?" And he says, "She has to come with me." Which is like the first So this whole thing, they're at their house. She takes the kids to the dad's, and then they bring them right back, and then they end up right back at the house. It's like the first instance of plot that doesn't make sense. It's the first instance of padding, I guess it feels like. But in real life, things like that happen. So I gave it a little bit of a pass. This is really hard. So they go to Coachella, and the kids immediately leave Celine, and Celine ends up just going to the August Moon meet and greet lobby, and she meets another mom, I think, because the actress looked older, but she meets another mom there, and the other mom asks her, "Oh, is this your first time getting mooned?" And she's like, "You're a moonhead." And of course she says, "No, my daughter loved it." And the other woman is like, "Sure." And I don't know, I just thought it was weird, because it felt like they were, like this woman, we're made to feel like it's weird that this woman is here and like swooning over one of the other band members, but it's okay when Celine does it. And again, that'll pop up again later, so I don't know. Hi guys! Hi guys! They're ready to come in. Oh, I know it. So yes, it seems that Celine is creeped out by this woman too. Hopefully you can see me. Can you even see me? So it seems like Celine is creeped out by this woman too, because she asks her where the VIP bathrooms are. And the woman says, "Oh, they're outside and to the right," or whatever. So she goes outside and sees a worker coming out of this trailer, and for some reason thinks that's the VIP bathrooms, and she goes to it. It's second row of trailers, and a worker just walked out of it. For some reason she thinks that's the VIP bathrooms. So she walks into this trailer, and someone's in the bathroom, and she knocks on it, and he says, "Hold on a second." And so she waits, and then he opens the door, and I think you can kind of tell some recognition on her face. She recognizes that he is someone famous. I don't know that she recognizes him as an August Moon band member. She's like, "Excuse me," and goes into the bathroom and uses his bathroom. And so he sits on the couch and waits for her. And when she comes out, she's like, "You're not a weirdo who likes to listen to people pee, are you?" And he's like, "No, this is my trailer." And which is a really cute meet cute. I really like that idea. Once he tells her who he is, she's like, "Oh, okay," and like doesn't even like thank him for letting her use his bathroom, or like, I don't know. I just feel like etiquette would be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me use it. Like, my bad," you know? But no, she just goes to leave. As she goes to leave, he offers her a drink, and she decides to stay, and she kind of explains what she's doing there. Like, she kind of explains, "Oh, I'm here for my daughter," and she kind of subtly hints that she is single. This is really hard. So she hints that she is single, and then as they're sitting there and she's like explaining to him, you know, what the situation is, a woman walks in and she's like, "Hey, Hayes, Oh, I think I forgot to mention, his name is Hayes Campbell, and he's a singer in August Moon. And this woman is like, hey Hayes, do you need me to dress you? And he's like, no, I don't need to be dressed. What does that mean? What do you mean, do you need me to dress you? Are you a child? So, like, and this is another one of the points that, I don't know, kind of feels icky. Like, it feels like he's wanting a mommy, like a mommy fetish or something. And, I don't know, it just seems weird to me. Okay, so the meet and greet starts. And the kids are late. This is where we find out that Hayes was not Izzy's favorite of the band members. They go through the meet and greet line where they get to get autographed pictures and things like that. And we find out that Hayes was not Izzy's favorite, which I really liked. I heard somebody say that in the book, Hayes was her favorite. But we find out that in the movie, at least, Rory was Izzy's favorite, not Hayes. And for some reason, Izzy's friend, like, randomly and very unsubtly feels the need to tell the band that Celine has an art gallery in Silver Lakes, I think is where they live. And then it's mentioned, oh, Hayes has a penchant for art, or a penchant for art museums. And then the band has to be rushed off. And then they're at the concert. And the concert scenes were very cringe to me. Like, it didn't seem like they were one unit, and it didn't seem like they were really entertainers. I don't know. It was very cringe. The music was actually pretty okay. Like, it was actually sounded like a boy band, but just the performance itself made me cringe. And even the second time watching it, I was still like, oh, I don't like this. And then you can tell Celine's kind of having fun. She knows a little bit of the songs, which I'm sure she would, because if her daughter was such a big fan. But then during one of the performances, they're about to start a new song, and Hayes stops the song, and he tells them, oh, I want to do a different song. And so then they do a different song, and it's a song called Closer. And in it says, you're a little older, and just kind of sounds like what they're doing. She's a little older, and he wants to get closer. So then he starts singing that song. And she gets the impression that he is singing to her. And so she, kind of gets all giggly and kind of likes it. And then it immediately cuts to her 40th birthday party. And her and her friends are sitting around a table, and they are having drinks or whatever. And then one of her friends says something that's so stupid. She says, and I quote, "You're not even a person until you hit 30. I'm sorry, what? And then her best friend says, "That's profound." And the guy next to her says, "That's drunk." And then they all, ha 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 ha. That's weird. You're not even a person until you hit 30. Are we trying to make that argument now? And there's like no, blowback from it. Like, nobody really says, that sounds crazy. Or, you know, that doesn't make any sense. Or, like, there's no, like, looks between people that are like, this bitch. You know? Like, it was really weird. There's so many times in this that I'm like, that meme of John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, he's like, there's so many times that I feel like that, and that's part of why I don't really care much for this movie. But I digress. And then after that little ha ha ha, it goes into a montage of some not so great men hitting on her. One, you can tell that he's not divorced; he's still married. And then the second one is crazy about his kids, and his kids are all pets, and he's got a bunch of them. And then the third one, he just seems a little, I don't know, like, I didn't think he was that bad. You know, he says, I want to invite you to dine with me next week and eat some food. You know, and he's like, I don't know, I think he's trying to be funny. He jumps around the corner and scares her, and I don't know, he just seemed like he was trying to be funny. He was trying to be cute and funny. And I don't think he was that bad. Okay, so then after that, we jump to her art gallery. And guess who shows up? Yep, you guessed it. Hayes does. And he's looking for art for his apartment, his New York apartment. And me and my husband both were like, what is up with his outfit? I'll put in a picture somewhere. And because it's bad. I'm like, who dressed this boy? Maybe he does need to be dressed. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyways, so again, earlier it said that he has a penchant for art, and then she talks about, the artist, she takes him to the sculptures and says, the artist threw these, blah, 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 blah. And he says, she threw them at the wall. And he's like, no, it's a pot. Like, why wouldn't he just say, she threw them? Like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better line than she threw them at the wall. Like, they were obviously not. And then he proceeds to buy all the sculptures. So then he goes to the paintings, and he buys all the paintings. He ends up buying all the art in her gallery. And for some reason, that's wrong. That's bad. I don't quite understand why that's bad. Because I thought that was the point of a gallery, is to buy it. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. But yeah, so Lynn gets kind of upset at him for buying all of it, and like it's rude, and she kind of scolds him about it, and I don't get it. I don't know, but I will be back. I gotta get these horses. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Oh, Justice, come on. Here she is. Happy girl. Happy girl. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. Happy girl. Don't go nowhere, dude. Come on. Justice, where are you going? your bubble. Quit chewing on that gun. There they are. All right. Back to the story. After he buys all the stuff in her gallery and she gives him a good scolding for it, she takes him, he wants to see more art. And so she takes him to a storage unit of a friend of hers who is an artist. And they take her car so they avoid the paparazzi. And in it, one of the first art piece that they look at is like a literal calendar with dates and all kinds of stuff. And she calls it a self-portrait. And I quote, "She's not some untouchable genius. Artists, they're just like us, huh?" She acts like it's some like big moving thing and big moving piece. And like, but is it? I don't know. I was like, wow, that's not pretentious. And then, ouch. And then another piece that they see is called Unclose Me. And it's a picture of a forest. It's a picture of a forest. And he says, "What do you feel when you look at it?" And she says, "Everything." And that's it. That's all she says. Like, what does that mean? What does everything mean? Okay. You know what I see? You know what I feel? I feel hungry. I feel a little film on the roof of my mouth that I only get from sugary cereal. It looks like Fruity Pebbles. That's what I feel. That's what I see. But she says, everything. That's profound. But while they're at this, it's not a gallery. While they're at the storage unit, they start to open up to each other. And she tells him what she studied in school. And he tells her how he got to be in the band. And they decide to get some lunch. And on their way, people see him in her car. And so they were trying to decide where to go to eat lunch. And so she decides to just go back to her house and she'll make him a sandwich. Which again, feels mommy fetish. I don't know. Hi guys. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. My chickadees. All right. Good morning. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Quit. Don't you jump out of there. Don't you jump out of there. They get there and her fridge is broken. And again, I don't know why this scene was in there. Her fridge is broken. So she pulls out a thing of milk and so this back out here. She pulls out a thing of milk and she says, "Oh no, my fridge is broken again." And he walks in and he's like, "Oh no, you know, the the date on it is more like a suggestion," which is true. It is. Anyways, they get there and her fridge is broken. So no sandwiches, right? No, just gonna make him drink some sour milk. They're still able to make their sandwiches. I don't know. It was weird. It was just a whole weird setup. Anyways, so they are able to make sandwiches. They just clean out her fridge and put the good stuff in a cooler and the bad stuff they toss. So again, It's a scene that it kind of wastes your time. Kind of not necessary. Doesn't do anything for the plot. So after that, they have more heart-to-hearts. And they did get to eat their sandwiches. And I really, one good thing about this movie is I did really enjoy her monologue about her husband cheating on her. Of course, it's Anne Hathaway. I don't think she could give a bad performance. She's very practical. And I feel like that leads to a too simple character, I guess. Because I think that's part of my problem with this movie too, is like, she's just like, okay, yeah. And she talks about how she was willing to forgive and forget her husband. And I really like that. But his response to it is weird. So his response to her talking about her husband breaking her trust and why she doesn't want to open up to anyone anymore is, we're still here eating great flippin' sandwiches, and maybe we're not all Daniels. What? What does that mean? And then she says, her immediate reply is, I'll take that under consideration, Hayes Campbell, which is, of course, what I would have said, because it doesn't make any sense what he said. I would say, okay, I'll take that under consideration. And then he says, not the first and last name. And she says, you don't like that? He says, it just doesn't tell the whole story. And she says, I see that. And scene. What? All that dialogue. What? Rant time. So she just opened up to you about why she can't or won't open herself up because of the trust issues that her husband cheated on her for over a year. Cheated on her for over a year with a coworker, and everybody else knew it but her. And you say, we're still here eating good sandwiches, and maybe we're not all Daniels. Which, maybe we're not all Daniels. Okay. Just wanted to clarify, the line about we're not all Daniels makes sense, but the lines leading up to it don't. What does still being here and eating good sandwiches have to do with men not all being like Daniel? It just doesn't tell the whole story. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And I don't feel like it's answered anywhere in this movie. Like, I feel like it would have been better for him to be like, everyone knows me as Hayes Campbell, but I just want somebody to know me as Hayes. Or, I just want somebody to know the real me or whatever. Like, I wish you would have said something more along the lines of, Hayes Campbell is my stage name, but I want somebody to know Hayes. I want somebody to know me, not my stage persona, me. And I guess that's what they were going for with the doesn't tell the whole story. But I also feel like that's not really the time to say that. Like, I feel like she was open up about her trust issues, and earlier in the movie he had mentioned that he had trust issues too. So why don't you tell us those trust issues, or what led to those trust issues? I told you what led to my trust issues. Hey, y'all chill. It was a weird scene, and then it ended by the phone ring. Hi guys, y'all ready to go outside? Yeah, let's get these chickadees. Get these chickadees. You see them down there? Oh, you see them down there? Oh, hi guys. Y'all ready? Come here. Don't stop. Oh, hold on. They're at the age now where they're jumping out. I'll be right back. All right, so right after they have this heart-to-heart, Izzy calls, and Celine steps out of the room and takes her call, and he starts playing on the piano, and she didn't hear it. I don't know. It was a loud piano. I thought Izzy would hear it. But she didn't make any mention of it, so whatevs. Hey guys, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Oh, you missed. So after she gets a call from Izzy, and she goes into the other room, and he starts playing the piano. She comes in, and he stops playing, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, that was so beautiful! Why'd you stop?" And it's because he wants to get a little feely, touchy. And so they start, of course, they start touching hands, and then, leads to another, and then they start making out. Well, she tries a couple times to get away from him, saying, "I'm too old for you. I could be your mother." I mean, could she be his mother? She would have had to have him at like 16, so I doubt. Well, maybe. They end up making out, right? But she tries to end it, saying that they just don't fit. And I seen somebody else make the argument that she's a high-end art dealer. I don't know what they're called, and he's a famous pop star. So they kind of do fit. Like, I guess the age is the only thing the only reason that she says they don't fit. But he leaves his watch, and that gives him a reason to do nothing. Because then, they don't bring it up, but she brings the watch back to him, and he brings the watch back to her, and she brings the watch back to him. So it passes between the two of them for the rest of the movie. But y'all are wild. Y'all are being wild. I thought he left it as a reason to reach out to her and say, "Oops, I forgot my watch." But that's not what he does. So, whatever. Alright, let's move on to the next area. The next chore. So that is all my barn chores. Until tonight. So let's move on to my next chore. Alright, so after he leaves his watch, Izzy gets home literally right after he leaves. And she's packing, again, for summer camp, which is convenient because we need her gone, I guess. So Izzy goes to summer camp, and Hayes texts Celine to invite her to his New York hotel. And she thinks about it for 2 seconds by going and watching his band's old music videos. Okay. And of course, she decides to go. And she shows up dressed to kill. Man, she looked good. That dress, fire. I loved it. Oh, it was nice. Hayes loved it too. They finally get together. And it's about halfway through the movie now. And as you can tell, not really much has happened. Not really. In the form of character development or anything like that. Not much has happened. So they do the deed, and it cuts to right after. And he's on the phone ordering room service. And then they have this cringy dance party. It was so cringy watching it. I was like, ooh. And I know it's supposed to be oh, they're so cute. They're so intimate, and they can be weird around each other. But it was just plain weird. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. They just stay in the hotel. I don't know. It's hard to tell how long that they're in the hotel, but they just stay there. They don't. It doesn't show them going into New York at all. They just literally stay in the hotel, and I don't know. I was just dang. So they're not gonna go to a cafe, or gonna go to Central Park, or do touristy New York stuff. They're just gonna say, "Oh, I'm in New York." I don't know. It felt cheap. While they're there, he invites her on his European tour. And they do have a cute little moment when they're talking about like her going with him, and she's like, I don't have any clothes, and he's like, well, I've got an army of fashion designers and stuff, and she's like, well, I don't have underwear, and he's like, well, let's go to Target. But it's established that she's worried about what people will think or what people will say, and he says, oh, it's fine, I'll just tell them you're my art consultant. And she goes along with it, and and they go on his band's private jet, and the other band members have like their girlfriends too. I guess they're not girlfriends, but they're girls they're seeing. And then they go through a montage of them doing cute touristy stuff in Europe, and then also at their concerts. And it's really cute, but you can tell they're being very public. Like, they're on a beach, they're on a public beach, and they're making out. And, making out in the water and, doing cutesy stuff and going to, like, little cafes and kissing in the cafes. At their shows, like, he sings this one part, "You're such a masterpiece." And he sings that to her, like, and it shows, like, a couple different times where he sings that, like, to her. She's on the side stage, and he's singing that to her, and it's really cute. It would make me go, hee hee hee. But, yeah, I like that part. Okay, so on to my chores. Quit distracting me. Okay, so while she's traveling with him on his tour, Izzy calls her from summer camp, and she tells Izzy, oh yeah, I'm traveling, but doesn't tell her who she's with or what she's doing in her travels. Which always comes back to bite you in the ass. And then finally, of course, someone gets a picture of her and Hayes together. Because they're not exactly being discreet. It doesn't come out yet. But they go to a private house with his bandmates and their women, their girls. I don't know what to call them, because they make a point of saying, oh, we're not dating. So they go there, and they're all hanging out by the pool, and she gets a little self-conscious about going to the pool with them. They're all in their bikinis, and she's in a one piece, and so she ends up coming out with like this long sleeve cover up and and a giant straw hat and giant sunglasses and an ascot. Like, girl, should have just wore the one piece. If they weren't going to talk about you before, they're definitely going to talk about you now, coming out looking like that. Like, just own it. I understand self-consciousness and like insecurities and stuff, but I would have been okay. I'm in a one piece. I don't have a bikini body anymore. I'm a mom. I'm 40. Deal with it. Because they're being obvious around the girls and around the other band members, and so it's like, it's not like she has to like pretend to be the art consultant. But while they're by the pool, she tries a small talk with the girls, and they all end up telling her that the changing songs at the last second is a bit that they all do, all the band members do, if they find a girl that they think is cute. And which, okay, it's fine. But then they start talking about a older woman who Hayes had already done that to, and I can't tell if she's upset because he used that bit for another woman, or if she's upset that like they were like making fun of her, or like what they were saying, because they said she was like in love with him. Poor girl, she was obsessed. She just kept showing up. We couldn't ditch her. She was 33 and clueless. It was so awkward. And in their argument, she says, I'm 40 and clueless, I guess. And so it makes me think that she's more upset about what they're saying, but then she turns around and says, "Father, my child lied to me for a year, and everybody knew except me," which is a gut punch similar to what I just felt by the pool.
Hi guys.
Good morning.
Here's my pet Franklin.
There's Franklin.
Here's my pet.
But to finish that last point, I don't really understand why she's upset. I don't think the movie made it clear why she's upset, because I don't understand if she's upset that he has been with other women, or is she surprised that he's used the same pickup lines, or is she upset that nobody told her that he had been with other women and had used the same pickup lines? I don't know. It's very confusing to me. In the argument, she admits to being ashamed of it, which again, I don't understand. I don't understand why she's ashamed of him. I'm guessing because of his age, but again, I'm guessing. Okay. So after their argument, she flies home and finds Fruity Pebbles waiting for her at her house. It's obvious that he bought it for her because she loved it so much. And I don't know if he did it while she was after their argument or before their argument, or I don't know. It's hard to tell when when he got it for her. And then after that, the next scene, Daniel and his new wife bought Izzy a car for her 17th birthday, and they bring it over to Celine's to give to her. And he makes mention that one of his friends was in Italy and saw her being friendly with Hayes. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And he just kind of leaves it at that. And his wife tells Celine that she's leaving him. And even Celine is like, why are you telling me this? And she says, quote, because I wanted you to know the truth. About what? You're not even telling her anything. You're telling her you're leaving him. I mean, I'm sure she could figure that out on her own. What? Again, the writing is just like, wow. Next we have Celine talking to her friend about Hayes and how young he is. And her friend is like, oh, that's nothing. And Celine even says, so when Daniel does it, it's wrong, but if I do it, it's okay. And her friend's like, yeah, because I hate him and I love you. I hate the double standard. But I guess the difference being Daniel was married when he did that, and Celine is single. So if they would have made that distinction, I would have been 100% for it, you know. But I don't feel like the writers knew what they were really trying to say, and I don't feel like they really knew what was wrong about it. That's my thing about this whole movie, is I don't think they know what they're trying to say. They don't seem to have a message. They just are putting it all. What I meant to say was, I don't think they have a point. They're just putting in random meaningless padding to meet a runtime. Right after that scene with her friend, there's a random snippet of the Graham Norton show, and she's crying because British people remind her of him. I don't know, because he's not on the Graham Norton show. It's Adele. So I don't understand. I don't understand again. Alright, so after doing all my outside chores, the horses, the chicks, the plants, I come in and I get dressed myself. So I'm going to see if I can do a transition. Spinny, 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 spin. And back to our story. So after the random snippet of the Graham Norton show, then she gets a text from him to stay off of the internet. And so, what's the first thing she does? Same as all of us. Gets right on the internet. Yep, of course. She finds pictures of them plastered all over the tabloids of their European trip. So she goes to pick up Izzy, and she is bombarded with all these texts about it, and people at the summer camp, other people there picking up their kids, are saying off the wall stuff. Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. My daughter has loved him since she was 10 and she's heartbroken. Like, I don't care, lady. I don't know your little girl. And then she sees her daughter, and she can tell her daughter's upset with her. So she confesses to her daughter everything that happened and tells her that she broke up with him. And the daughter's upset that she lied. She's not really upset that she was dating him. She's upset that she lied to her and didn't tell her, because that's what her dad did. She expected better from her mom, and her mom disappointed her, which is a very, I hate that feeling of disappointing your kids. And the first question that the daughter asks her about him is, do you like him? That's a very valid question. Awesome first question. And she's like, yeah, I did. And then, can you take a guess what her second question is? Do you want to be with him? Nope, that's not it. What's your favorite thing about him? Nope, not that one. Do you love him? Nope, not that one. Her second question is, and I quote, is he a feminist? I think I'm going to leave this whole pause in here because I can't. That's your second. Let me move because I need to keep getting ready. That's your second question. Is he a feminist? That's your second question to your mom about dating a pop star. Is he a feminist? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me, movie? And of course the mom says, yeah, he is. And the daughter says, why did you break up with a talented, kind feminist? What? Are you serious? I can't. Oh, that seems so shallow. I'm offended. I am offended. Why is that her daughter's second question? Do you like him? Yes. Is he a feminist? Because that's important. Because that's important? Because that's important. I think that was the line when I was like officially like done with this movie. And I was like, I can't take you seriously. I just can't. I can't take you seriously. Move on more then? Move on. Okay. Don't get on that soapbox today. Not today, Satan. Right after she has that talk with her daughter, she goes to his recording studio and apologizes to him and says that she feels for him what she feels for Fruity Pebbles. Everything. And she admits that she lied when she said she was ashamed of him. It was really cute. He says, okay, well, I need a moment. And then she's like, okay, I understand. He's like, okay, I had a moment. And it's like such a guy thing to say. But it felt unearned. I think Pride and Prejudice spoiled me because the reasons why she didn't get with him, and in order to fix those reasons, he fixed what he damaged. You know what I mean? Like he did the work. He put in the time. He paid the penance. But in this, it's like, I guess all that he needed was an apology for that. But it just, to me, it felt unearned. And that's the way the rest of this movie feels too. Is everything feels unearned. And so they get back together. And they go back to her house and discuss what to do moving forward. And they're like, yeah, we'll just delete all of our social media. We'll be fine. Yeah. nobody can get to us if we delete all of our social media. And then there's a montage of all the headlines of them being in a relationship. And all right, and then one time Daniel comes over to take Izzy to school and finally officially meets Hayes. Him and Celine get into an argument over all of it, and you can tell that he's just kind of me. This is where they really say she liked August Moon, but her favorite was not Hayes, it was Rory. And earlier in the movie she had just mentioned it at the meet and greet. You know, she was talking to another guy and it was like, you're my favorite. Right after they have an argument, of course Daniel leaves with Izzy, and and she turns around and Hayes has gotten a phone call that one of his band members is in a little bit of trouble, and so he's got to go for a couple days to go help his band member out. Do we find out what the trouble is? Nope. He just kind of disappears for a while, and what does she do? She gets on social media for some reason, even though they said they were deleting it. And so she reads all these things that people are saying, and I just thought that was the whole point, was that y'all were getting off social media so you wouldn't see all that stuff. But so yeah, people are saying mean things on social media, but there are paparazzi and disgruntled fans outside of her gallery. They're having to lock the door and do appointments instead. And her daughter is getting bullied at school.
Getting ready for the soup.
Yeah.
Can you help?
The girls are asking for pics of Hayes from her mom, and the boys are saying, you know, I'll be 18 soon. Paparazzi are also coming to her house and, pestering them as they walk into the house, and, and they thought just deleting their social media would be enough, but whatever. Who would have seen that coming? But after all that, she goes to pick up Hayes from the airport, and she breaks up with him again. And this time because of her daughter. And he's willing to quit. He's willing to turn away from this life, from this famous pop star life. He's willing to turn away from it. And she says, no, then it'll be worse. Which I don't blame her, because I think it would be worse. Because one of the tabloids had already called her the Yoko Ono 2.0. And so I think if he would have quit, they would have blamed her and said that she talked him into it or she made him do it. And I mean, would it be wrong? No. But would it be right? Also no. So it was his decision, but it was his decision for her. So I get what she's saying. But he's kind of upset with her that she's not going to fight for them, is what he says. And she doesn't say anything. She literally just sits there and stares out the front of the car. And so he gets out and leaves. And she pulls away and she goes home. Like literally the next scene, she's at home and gets a text from him to come to the door. And he professes his love to her, and she tells him that she loves him back. And he comes in and they make out a little bit. And I really like this scene because I really liked the color over them, like the light over them changes colors. And I don't know. Thinking back, I think that the colors over them are the same colors from Fruity Pebbles, but I'm not sure. I could be looking too much into it. It's just really pretty. I liked it. But there was like no downtime in between them breaking up and him showing up and professing his love to her. Like there was no I really miss her. I really, it was just like boom, boom. It was really weird. It's really weird. And then they're sitting there making out, and the camera jumps away from them or jumps into the next room and kind of pans over to Fruity Pebbles again that she's now hung up. And it's kind of insinuating that they're going to go do what adults do. But then it jumps right back to them, and it's like the same moment. They're still in the same positions. I guess them cutting to that Fruity Pebbles is because they're both feeling everything. But it doesn't make any sense because the next shot they're in the same positions. And I don't know, it's weird. But they come back to them, and he says, promise to regroup in 5 years. Izzy will be away at school, and I'll be out of the band and all this stuff. Like, then we can be together. And she just says, no, if you find happiness, take it. And she said, I will too. But he ain't. He ain't. And so he leaves. So then it jumps to 5 years later. And Izzy is away in college. She's talking to her on Zoom call. And, making sure that Izzy's all taken care of. And she's up late one night, and she sees Hayes singing on the Graham Norton show. The song he was singing was clearly written about her. And stops to watch him, and she starts crying, and then of course he goes to be interviewed by Graham, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna go on a holiday in LA," and Graham is like, "Oh, is there any reason why LA?" And he says, "Because there's somebody I want to meet." And of course you're like, he gonna meet her, but she's just staring sadly at the TV, and there's no recognition on her face that he's coming here. Maybe I'll see him. There's no I don't know. It's just meh. And I also think that this is the same scene. This is taken from the same thing of the Graham Norton show when she was sitting and watching the Graham Norton show earlier in the movie, because she's wearing the same top, and she's laid the same way, and she's kind of crying again, and she was crying in the first one too. And so I have a feeling that this is the same shot, which is funny when you can fund that stuff. Right after that, it cuts to her gallery. She hears him, and surprise, he came back, and he's got a little baby beard to show the time had passed, and he's not a baby, he's not a boy anymore, he's a man. And that's it. That's it. Overall, the movie was okay. I'll give it that. It was okay. I think that, of course, our darling Anne Hathaway put on a great performance. And really, I keep wanting to say Noah Gallatin, but it's Nicholas Gallatin. I think he put on a good performance as well. And I do think some people are saying that they don't have any chemistry, but I really felt their chemistry. I thought they were really cute together, but I just feel like they weren't given the best chemistry, if that makes sense. They weren't given the best lab supplies to be able to perform the chemistry that they needed to perform. Does that make sense? I just feel like the writing was wrong, was so bad. Hollywood is struggling with their writing. And I feel like it shows in this movie as well as in many other modern Hollywood movies. It's just some of the messaging was weird, or sloppy, or confusing, maybe is the word. I don't know. Some of the messaging was weird. And the dialogue was confusing sometimes. And I feel like their characters didn't really go anywhere. They didn't really change. They didn't really do anything. I feel like a whole lot of nothing happened. And of course I could probably go back and watch some old rom-coms and say the same things, but I feel like there's been so many good rom-coms in the past that we should know this by now. And everybody, I keep seeing a lot of like, oh, it's predictable, you know what's going to happen. And yeah, if you're going into a rom-com, you know what you're getting. You know, you want the HEA, the happy ever after. Like, literally, when me and my husband finished this, I was like, well, that sucked. That is not as good as the topic I'm making. But maybe the book is better. From what I've heard in a lot of videos, it may not be much better. But the book is normally better than the movie. But because they've got to leave so much out. They've got to leave so much like internal monologue and things that you can't put on screen. They have to leave a lot of that in the books. And a lot of that is what normally makes the books better. But maybe if we got some of her inner monologues, it would have been better. Or some of his inner monologues, it would have been better. But I don't know. If you like the book more than the movie, comment down below. Overall, I think it was just boring. Hence the Chores and Bores. Because it just didn't do anything. It was just okay. Will I watch it again? No. No. Real quick. No. But I watched it twice so that I could get this script down. But no, I will never watch it again. It's definitely not anywhere on my rom-com list. Maybe that's what I should do, is go back and watch old rom-coms. I think rom-coms are dead. I don't think this new generation of writers can write rom-coms. I don't think they can write comedies. I don't think they're funny. I don't think they're romantic. And I don't think they have what it takes. Maybe that's very nihilistic of me, but I just don't. They're too focused on the wrong things. They're too focused on, was he a feminist? Oh, that line. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's something new and unique. So be sure to give it a like if you liked it, so I will know to do it again in the future. Leave a comment down below if you agree with anything I said, or would like to add your input on what I said about the idea of you. And feel free to subscribe for more content from your nerdy cowgirl. God bless you guys. Happy trails. Bye.